Hey, what it do, Sports 1 Real Untouchable Podcast with me, Ray Diggs. I got a great segment for you all. I want to talk about this right here is my week 8 picks. This right here is my week 8 college football predictions, my pick 'em. As you all know, I do it every week. Now, I just want to say this right here before I get started. Make sure y'all hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the share button. Also, man, I have missed y'all this week. I've been very busy, and that's the reason why I haven't been recording this week. Taking care of other things. But it's so good to be back to give you all the real untouchable college football week 8 pick 'em. And who's on upset alert this week? All right, the team that I put on upset alert last week. I didn't get a chance to talk to y'all about what happened last week between Oregon and Washington, but I'm gonna make a video just to talk about that one game. But let's go ahead and jump into the top 25. In the first game I got of the week will be number 17 Tennessee traveling to Tuscaloosa to face the number 11 Alabama Crimson Tide and Nick Saban. Okay, this game right here, as you all know, this Tennessee Volunteers beat the Alabama Crimson Tide last year in Knoxville. Okay, and that game right there, it was kind of crazy. Alabama should have won the game, missed on so many opportunities. But in the end, that what ultimately cost them a chance at going to the college football playoff last year. This is the revenge tour for the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I feel like Nick Saban and this team should take this personal of what happened last season. Because this team right here was clearly a better team last year. Alabama was. They should have beaten this Tennessee team last year, but they didn't. And I think this game right here should be taken personal as they get ready to take the field. They get ready to take the field tomorrow in Tuscaloosa versus this. Because this is the third Saturday in October. You know, this right here is where they smoke the cigars. This is what this rivalry is all about. This is a rivalry game. I told y'all, I remember one time I was on my way home to Arkansas, and I accidentally went through Tuscaloosa, and I accidentally ran into the traffic of these two teams getting ready to face each other. This is a rivalry game. See, these two teams right here clearly hates each other. Yes, it's not like Auburn, but Tennessee and Alabama is a crosstown rivalry. And that's why I say I'm going with Alabama at home, the Tide, to pull this one off. Now, this right here is the keys to victory. Okay, Jalen Milroe have to make throws. He's going to have to make the throws possible to win this game. You're not playing against Texas A&M. You're playing against a team that can put up points. You're playing against a team that can ultimately beat you. And that is why this game right here is going to be decided on Jalen Milroe's arm and leg. Because if he can't make plays, if he's missing the big plays, this Tennessee team is going to come into Tuscaloosa and pull it off the upset. It can't. And the one thing I can say, Jalen Milroe didn't look good last week. He regressed last week. He was progressing, and then he regressed last week. There's a lot of things in the game last week I didn't like. I don't think I'm not saying that he's not a quarterback, but what I'm saying is I just don't know if he's the perfect quarterback for this team. Now, Nick Saban's going to stick with it, and ultimately I understand why. But this year, maybe next year, the Alabama Crimson Tide may look at elsewhere for a quarterback if Jalen Milroe doesn't get it together. If he can't start winning these games, the game like last week, that game was way too close. You see, like this week right here, it's gonna be they're gonna have to put points up against Tennessee to win this game. And then as they go into their bye week, the game that comes out of that week is LSU, and we know LSU their offense can explode. But I'm gonna tell you something. I feel like this Alabama defense is better. They're more athletic. They're fast. They move to the ball. They're led by Dante Lawson and also super freshman, superstar, Caleb Downs. These are the two superstars on that defense. But you also know they have Dallas Turner that's gonna be coming off the edge. This team right here is loaded with edge rushers. And that's the one thing that I love about Nick Saban. This defense right here has really been winning them games. And if they can ever put it together, this team right here, if they can put it together, meaning offense and defense, this team right here is going to be very, very scary. And that's why I'm going with Alabama to win this game. I got to go with the Tide. I feel like the Tide will revenge their loss of last season. I'm going Alabama in this game. Okay, let's talk about number 7 Penn State traveling to the Horseshoe down in Ohio State to face the number 3 team in all of the nation. Now, everybody can say Ohio State, they've won a big game this year. They beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame. Penn State hadn't really played a big game this year. Same thing I said about Michigan. They hadn't played a big game this year. This is your time. This is your time, Penn State. This is your time where you can go into the Horseshoe. This Ohio State team is very, very beatable. You can go into the Horseshoe and y'all can make a statement. This right here is going to be a statement because if I'm not mistaken, in the next week or two, you all will be playing against Michigan, in which you all will be playing against Michigan at home. Now, this is what Penn State have to do. They got to come into this game and they got to out-physical. They have to out-physical the bully. You see, they have to out-physical this Ohio State team to get this win. Can they do it? Yes, they can do it. Will they do it? I don't know. I'm going to go with the upset in this. Yes, I'm calling it. Upset alert. Upset alert. I'm going with Penn State. Penn State to defeat Ohio State at the Horseshoe in Columbus. I'm going Penn State to win this monster matchup. Even though the love I have for Marvin Harrison Jr., I have to go with Penn State. I think Penn State is the more rounded team. I think they have more. I think their defense is better. I'm not going to say their offense is better, but I think these two teams right here match up really, really good. But I'm going to go with my better judgment. I'm going with Penn State to win this game. Okay, we got UCF at number 6, Oklahoma. Oklahoma just coming off this Texas win. They still riding high. I expect for Oklahoma to win this game as well. I expect for them to continue their momentum. And if everything lines up, this Oklahoma team will most likely meet that Texas team one more time, which will be in the Big 12 championship, because they can't get comfortable right now. They can't be comfortable. I expect for Oklahoma to come up off that last win against Texas, and I expect for them to slap around Central Florida as well. We got Air Force who come into the top 25. We got number 22 Air Force against Navy. Air Force 6-0. Air Force always have a good team. Y'all ever recognize that? Air Force always have a good team. And this is the crazy thing. Let's talk about Army and Navy. What do Army and Navy do? Army and Navy teams are almost identical. All they want to do is run. What do Air Force like to do? They like to do what they normally do. They like to air it out. Okay, they like to air it out. That's normally what they normally do. Let me look at their stats per game. Oh, well, no, all of them run the ball now because Navy pretty much averaged 334 yards rushing a game and 78 yards passing. So, so all these teams right here, all they do is run. And normally when they face against good teams, when you run a lot like these, they like Navy, Army, Air Force, they don't win. But I'm going to go with Air Force today to win this game against Navy. We got Washington State at number 9, Oregon. Oregon coming up off a terrible loss. I'm going with Oregon to win this game right here. And the reason why, everybody know the way I feel about Washington State, but Washington State hadn't been looking like Washington State these last 2 weeks. They come back down to earth. Yes, they come back from the sun back down to earth. They have looked like one of the top, the bottom tier teams in the Pac-12 after looking like one of the best teams in the Pac-12. I'm going with Oregon. I think Oregon going to be pissed off in this game. I think they're going to be mad. I think they know that they let one slip away in Washington. I look for them to take out their frustration out on this Washington State team, and as they should. All right, I'm going with Oregon. Okay, we got South Carolina at number 20, Missouri. I'm going with Missouri. I've been going against Missouri all season, and they have proved. Well, actually, I picked against Missouri against LSU, and I won that game. But I picked against them last week against Kentucky, in which they beat the brakes off of Kentucky. I'm not gonna let my hate for Missouri get in the way of what I'm seeing. I'm going with Missouri to beat this South Carolina team. Okay, we got North Texas at number 2 and 3, Tulane. I'm going with Tulane to win this game. We got Minnesota at number 24, Iowa. I'm going with Iowa to win this game. And as y'all can see, I'm going through this when I'm not really talking about these teams because these teams are not good enough for me to talk about. It's crazy that these teams are even in the top 25. Iowa, top 25. Iowa probably got one of the worst quarterbacks, probably got one of the worst offense that I've ever seen, but they're winning. They're 6-1. So they're in the top 25. So guess what? I'm going to put them in my top 25. Okay? I expect for Iowa to win that game. And as I get ready to move to Iowa, I might even go down and check out the Iowa Hawkeyes and tell their coach what's really wrong with this team. Meaning you need to go out there and hijack one of these quarterbacks, and maybe, just maybe, you can challenge in the Big Ten every single year, because every single year Iowa have a very, very, very good defense, but every year the offense pretty much lets them down. So hey, I'm going with Iowa to win this game as well. Okay, we got number 8 Texas at Houston. I'm going with Texas. Texas should be pissed off. They should be mad. The way they let that game slip away against Oklahoma, and they know that they still got one more shot to get at this, to get a chance at this Oklahoma team. Texas can't slip up. They have to win this game. And I expect for them to go to Houston, and I expect for them to beat up on Houston a little bit, as they should. And I expect for them to get back on the road after a tough, heartbreaking loss against Oklahoma. All right, I'm going with Texas. We got UVA, Virginia, at number 10, North Carolina. I'm going with North Carolina. Listen, I've been going against North Carolina all season. I've been wanting North Carolina to lose all season. Drake May is my dude. I've been picking against them all season, and I've been wrong all season. Guess what? I'm not going against them today. I'm going with North Carolina to win today and improve their record to 7-0 as they get ready for their showdown in the next couple weeks against Clemson. This North Carolina team is for real. And it took me some weeks to understand. It took me some weeks to pretty much, process this thing. But this team right here is really, really good, man. They're a really good team. I'm going with them to beat UVA. We got number 13, Ole Miss, the Ole Miss Rebels, y'all. Hotty. Okay, we got them at Auburn. I was talking to one of my friends, man. He an Auburn fan. Now, I told him that Auburn would be trash. Right now, they're sitting at 3-3. They're trash. So I was pretty much right. I'm going with Ole Miss to win this game. Auburn, they just not there. I don't know if it's the quarterback position or the position or what it is, but this Auburn team has not looked good since they played against Georgia. This team has looked good one time this season, and that was against Georgia. I'm going with Ole Miss to win this game at Auburn. And I expect for them to cover the 6.5. I expect for them to win by at least 14. Okay, we got number 2 Michigan at its arch rival, Michigan State. I expect for Michigan to win this game. As y'all know, they got a lot going on. They got a lot going on down there in Michigan right now with the signal stealing scheme that Jim Harbaugh got going on down there. I believe it. I believe he did it. I believe his staff did. But I can't take nothing away from the team. The team is a really, 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 really good team. I can't say that they're a great team. I can't say that they're the number 2 team in the nation because they hadn't played nobody. And I said it once and I'll say it again. This team haven't played nobody for me to say that they are a top 2 team. And some people pose they have them as the number 1 team. So I can't say that. But I can say this. I expect for this team right to take care of business against Michigan State this Saturday. Okay, we got another big hit. We got another big game. We got number 16 Duke at number 4 Florida State. I'm going to go with Florida State. I think Florida State is the best team in the ACC, and I expect for them to take care of Duke. Now, I don't expect for this game right here to be a blowout. Like, I think people think that this game right here could turn out into a blowout. I don't believe it. I expect for Duke to put up a good fight, but I expect for Florida State to pull it off in the end. All right, I'm going with Florida State. Okay, we got Army at number 19 LSU. I expect for LSU to put up monster numbers against Army. I expect for them to do what they've done all season, which is put up big offensive numbers. The defense is the problem. It ain't got nothing to do with their offense. Their offense is one of the best in the nation, But this weekend, I expect for them to put up big numbers against this Army team. Okay, we got number 14 Utah at number 18 USC. Y'all saw them. Y'all saw how humiliated this team was last week, USC. Y'all saw how Notre Dame ran on the field, taunting the Heisman Trophy winner, the Heisman Trophy winner from last season, Caleb Williams. I'm talking about putting their phones up, taking pictures with it. Disrespectful at the highest level. I expect for Caleb Williams to come back and get some get back against this Utah team. Yes, I expect for him to come back, and I expect for him to have a Caleb Williams type of game. I expect for him to have 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns to show people, like, I'm the wrong one to be messed with. I'm the wrong one to be taunted. I didn't like what he said in this interview because it makes it seem like you're looking down on people. But I expect for him to come out there on the football field, and I expect for him to put up monster numbers against this Utah team. And the Utah got a really, really good defense, but Utah quarterback still isn't back. I'm starting to feel like Cam Rising is not coming back this season. I'm starting to feel like he's going to set this year out. And that's why I'm not picking this Utah team to win this weekend, because I just don't think they can muster it up. Now, if it's one team that they can muster up numbers against on the offensive side, is this team right here. This team right here, this USC defense, probably one of the worst I've ever seen. Them and Colorado got 2 of the worst defense in college football. So if you can put up points, this right here, if you can't put up points against this defense, then your offense really stinks. So I expect for it to be a good game, but I expect for Caleb Williams to pull it out. And another thing about this USC team, I was trying to tell everybody, is that this USC team, their offensive line is terrible. They got a bad offensive line. And that is the reason why you see that quarterback running for his life every play. But like I said, I'm going with USC to win this game. Okay, we got Arizona State at number 5, Washington coming off a huge win last week against Oregon. I expect for them to continue that. I expect for them to continue to show everybody why they are considered the best team in the Pac-12. I expect for them to continue this right here, because they beat the one team that I felt could keep them out of the Pac-12 championship, and that was Oregon. Oregon was the best team. I expect for them to get to the Pac-12 championship now with all the rest of the games they have left. Even though they have some pretty good games. Matter of fact, let's talk a little bit about this Washington schedule. 1 second. Okay, they have Arizona State this week. Next week they have Stanford. Then they have USC. Then they have Utah. And then they have Oregon State. Okay, then Washington State. So it's not like they got a cake schedule coming up. They actually got a pretty hard schedule that's getting ready, that they're going to have to deal with. Okay, so, but I expect for this team right here to be in the Pac-12 championship. And as you can see right now, they are leading. Well, actually in conference right now, USC is actually leading, then Washington. Okay, so, these two teams right here is set to face each other, later on this season. So that's going to be a really, really big game, but I'm going with Washington to beat Arizona State. All right, we got number 25, UCLA, coming off a big win against Stanford. I expect for this team right here, even though Stanford stood up last week against Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes, the game was actually 29-0 at halftime. And the game should have been over. Colorado choked that game. Okay, but I'm actually in another episode, I'm going to talk about what I feel really happened in that game. Okay, but I expect for UCLA to get it done. I expect for UCLA to go through Stanford and slow their confidence down. I know they're probably riding on a high horse right now. I expect for them to push them off the horse this weekend. I expect for UCLA to get it done. I expect for them to move their record to 5-2. Hey, y'all, this right here is my pick'em game. This right here is my top 25 pick'em. Okay, thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, listen, you all make sure you all have a great weekend of watching nothing but college football in the NFL. Hey, starting next week, I will be doing a show every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays will be my show days. And we're gonna be talking about everything on here, y'all. Hey man, make sure y'all tune in and thank y'all again for listening to another great segment of the Real Untouchable podcast with me, Ray Diggs. Hey, listen, thank you all for watching and have a blessed weekend. Peace.